Hello Galactic family. Welcome aboard. Gaia Planetary Station is happy that you like the messages and information we communicate. Help the channel to grow by subscribing, commenting on the video, sharing, becoming a member and donating to the channel. We always appreciate good energies and vibrations. We are together in this new era ground crew. Stay strong. Victory of light. Hello Galactic family. Greetings, dear ones, I am Krian of Magnetic Service. Today, the subject seems to be love, and it's my favorite. There is more to it than you think. I'll be speaking of love this entire month, talking about the incredible love from the creative source of all things. I'm going to ask that, perhaps, you might consider erasing what you've been told, or what you think, about how much God loves you. God loves you more than anything you have been told, and that's the truth. We know it's difficult to understand the kind of love that comes your way from the spiritual creation source. So, what if I told you that what you call love has a completely different name for us, or, perhaps, a completely different perception from what you have been told? What if I also told you that, within your DNA, there are attributes of love? Nobody told you it's in your DNA, have they? Love is actually part of the double helix itself, and all DNA vibrates a certain way in response to love. Now, that's very different, isn't it? For humans, love is a very special emotion that comes in and goes out. What I mean by that is that you receive it, and you give it. It comes in and you are also able to send it out. This is an interesting concept because not all emotions are that way. In the case of love, you can transmit it far, far beyond the room you are in. Many other emotions can be transmitted as well, but, mostly, just to the bubble around you, but not much more. There is something very different and special about love. What do you know about love and compassion that you've been told esoterically now for many years? Were you told that it exists in the field, and that it can be transmitted long distances around the world? Did you know that you can love somebody dearly and imagine that they are receiving love, and they will? This is esoterics at its best. It also tells you that this thing you call love is multidimensional and much more than an emotion, dear ones. I'm going to give you new information about love before this channel finishes describing a little more about what it is. I have given channelings in this series streaming Healing Wednesday Circle of 12, about many esoteric attributes. In the past, we've told you about things that were hidden in plain sight. We've given you some of the attributes of your soul. However, none of these messages are as powerful as this one. Let's go back to your DNA for a moment. The DNA that you have is enormous in its complexity. You have no idea how complex unless you study it. There are billions of pieces to it, and it's more than just simply the blueprint of the body. That DNA of yours, in its enormity, carries even the attributes of your past lives. These things are not necessarily contained in your brain, as many believe they might be. So, if DNA carries attributes of your past lives, what else might it carry? It also carries your lineage. It carries that which is the marker that says how many times you've been on the earth. The DNA that you have, that multidimensional part, is the biggest part. Scientists have wondered why it is that the biological part of DNA, the genes, only occupy about 3% of the many billions of parts that they have mapped in DNA. The answer to this puzzle was revealed within a discovery in 2012. Over 90% of the chemistry is now seen as the instruction book on how to put the DNA parts together, or how to make them work. Science has just discovered the book, but not the translation for the book. There is so much more than what it appears to be. That 90% area is where all of this information is stored that I speak of, and among that information is a process, a big one, that's triggered by love. I want you to hang on here, for this is a new premise. This is the love month February, so I want to give it to you now, and I want to give it to you in a way that you can understand. There are some things in biology that you postulate have cascading effects. When one thing happens, it triggers another, and it triggers another, and it triggers another. This is because the body is balanced and wants to stay balanced. Some of these cascading effects are things that are negative, and they have to do with the cascading effect which creates poor health. However, the one I'm going to tell you about is the opposite. It's a cascading effect that is the most positive effect you ever have heard about, and it starts right in your DNA. You might say you have receptors in your DNA for love. They are both for receiving and transmitting. The human being is a wonderful transmitter of compassion and love because the multidimensional antenna you have, dear ones, is magnificent. And once you cue into it, feel it and know that it's working for transmitting and receiving, something happens. I'll tell you what it is. When you start receiving that love from Spirit in the way that we are giving you today, and you relax and understand that you are part of all of creation, you begin to relax with the incredible love that is pouring into you. This relaxation takes your subconscious and voids it, puts it out of the way no matter what you've been told. This allows the healing attributes of love to start pouring in with purity, through the greatest source that ever was, and allows you to pour it forward, to start transmitting it. When these things happen, the reception and the transmission of this power called love, not the emotion, but the essence of the Creator, starts a cascading effect that is triggered in your DNA, a powerful one. Let me tell you what it does. It starts to heal you. Everything you've asked for, the problems, the fears, the anxiety, the biological issues, all of them together start to correct themselves and snap into a healthy balance. Now do you see why the DNA is involved? This is the effect I want you to know about. What if I told you that this cascading effect is called healing, health, and balance? If you want health and balance right now on this planet, start transmitting love. Start receiving love as well, and watch what happens. Love is the catalyst for everything that you've asked for. There's another one as well, it's also an emotion. I will put this one in category 2, but it does the same thing as category 1, love. However, you can feel it right away. It's called joy and laughter. This one disarms fear. Joy and laughter disarm hate and anxiety as well, and you can feel the release right away. This emotion is immediate, not transmitted, but it creates release and health. When you create joy and laughter and love in your life, you become a transmitter of love and your whole body starts to change. Aches and pains start to go away. Diseases start to diminish. You start to realize that you're living longer. Each one of these attributes is biological, every one of them, and this places them right in your DNA, and that's part of that 90% of DNA that has been so mysterious. Love can create fast recovery from any virus or any injury. It's the strongest thing you can have for an immune system. There are biological processes here that you may never discover as a human being, but they are very real. They're esoteric and multidimensional and very, very real. Ask somebody who has had an awakening and has gone from despair and worry and trouble to a place where they begin to receive beautiful love. Then, suddenly, they begin to be compassionate toward others, and something happens where their whole body starts to react. Some say they shake with the realization of what they didn't know, and the cascading effect begins to spread and to heal them of all that is unbalanced in their lives. That's love. Love, our kind of love, is in your DNA. If you are serious about any of this, especially in this love month, this is where it starts. It is the catalyst for all things you wish to have in your existence as a human. If someone says, well, I'm having trouble with this disease, or I wish I could get rid of this fear, we say, go directly to love and let it start the process. Many will dismiss this idea and say, no, I don't think so. I've got to do this and that, and this other process is needed. No, they are not. We are telling you where the cascade starts. We are telling you where the source of the healing begins, and it's not with substances or processes or self-examination. Let those follow later if it helps you, but start with love. Create love in your life for all things, God, yourself, others, the planet, and all things will be added unto you that you need for life. I've given you a truism today, and some of you will know it's real and it's true. It's part of you. It's the process of you, intuitive and grand. So, are you surprised that the love of God the Creator, which is the greatest energy in the universe, is also part of your healing and part of your cascading DNA for health? Perhaps now you can say, now I understand. Now it makes sense. These things need to make sense to you, dear ones. You are part of the creative source. You are part of the love that is yours anytime you want it. The door is open. It's already there. Now take it. Made in His image is the phrase you have heard many times. It's accurate. All of you are made in the image of the Creator love. Let me ask you, how often do you feel powerless and just one day overwhelmed by obligations and unrealistic expectations, stuck in situations that feel impossible to change, or victimized by people or emotions you can't control? Yet, we're born with unlimited potential to grow, adapt, and succeed, making us innately powerful. Just the fact that we learned how to crawl and then walk, that we figured out how to use our mouths and vocal cords to form words others can understand, and that we develop skills to relate to the world around us proves that we are innately powerful. So, when and how do we end up losing our power? Despite or maybe due to the enormous technological advancements of the last few decades, the demands of modern-day life have become increasingly challenging. As we push through our busy weeks, driven by intense pressure to gain job security, maintain a certain lifestyle, or just make ends meet, there remains very little time to relax, reflect, and recuperate. Add unprecedented global challenges, such as climate change, gun violence, COVID-19, inflation, and war, and it is no wonder that stress, anxiety, and depression have been called the epidemic of the 21st century. The role of our inner protector because of this level of overwhelm, our inner protector, the subconscious mind, is left rushing to the rescue. To help us cope with life's challenges, this deeper part of our mind employs two survival modes, avoiding and pleasing. Both strategies aim to protect us from what the subconscious considers dangerous threats, such as criticism, failure, and abandonment. The survival modes of avoiding and pleasing consist of 6 distinct survival patterns: the victim, the invisibility, the procrastinator, the chameleon, the helper, and the lover. Our subconscious mind developed these survival patterns early in our lives when we depended entirely on the adults around us. It doesn't take significant trauma, neglect, or abuse for the inner protector to doubt our safety. We may have had a completely ordinary upbringing on paper, and our siblings may still reminisce about the good old days. Still, perhaps because some of us are more sensitive, endless teasing, disappointed looks when we didn't get straight A's, or a friend ditching us signified that life is scary, and we need to watch out to avoid getting hurt. Our subconscious uses these emotionally charged memories as reference points for the future by condensing them into beliefs that define our perspective of ourselves and the world around us. The most common ones are I am not safe. I am not good enough. I don't belong. I am not lovable. And the world isn't a good safe place. How our subconscious mind sabotages us due to the chronic stress we are living with. Our subconscious is on continuous high alert, scanning for any potential danger similar to what we've experienced in the past. Once a threat is detected, our subconscious cross-references the current experiences with memories of similar events and launches us into survival mode by pulling out old limiting beliefs to convince us we're about to be abandoned or shamed. Caught in this survival loop, we shift from being competent adults to behaving like we did when we were children. We shrink like kids when we feel criticized, overextend ourselves to get approval, and hide under a blanket to avoid uncomfortable tasks. Even though we may rationally understand how we should handle challenges, our subconscious survival patterns continue to override any logic or reasoning. In the short term, falling back on old patterns can give us a sense of safety or belonging. But when survival patterns become our default ways of being and make us approach life in constant self-defense, we face two significant downsides. We become even more powerless because we believe our safety and well-being depend on others instead of finding peace, strength, and validation from within. Since we don't slow down to listen to our thoughts, face our emotions, or ask deep questions, such as, what do I really want? What is my purpose? Or, what is the meaning of life? We never develop strong self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-worth. We eventually become more than powerless. We become disconnected from ourselves. Depression and hopelessness set in when we realize that no matter how many people or situations we avoid and how much approval we receive, we still end up stuck, powerless, and unsure of who we are and whether we matter. This is why survival patterns, in contrast to their intentions, ultimately don't ease our struggles with stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem but instead intensify and prolong them. Ways to escape the survival loop. Now for the good news, we can switch out of the survival loop for good. We are not powerless, and we actually never give our power away. Let's take a look at some common examples of how we might feel we give our power away when we are in survival mode. We consider outside opinions more seriously than our own. We follow others' advice even though we don't want to. We prefer to stay quiet and unnoticed. We let people talk down to us without pushing back. We never say no to what others want us to do. Though these all sound deeply disempowering, we must consider, are we giving our power away, or are we not asserting our power? If we believe more in what others say, it's because we haven't figured out what we believe in. If we prefer to stay voiceless, it's because we haven't fully embraced the gifts that make us unique. And if we don't respect our own boundaries, it's because we haven't become our own source of safety. In none of these everyday examples have we given anything away. We feel powerless because our subconscious keeps relying on familiar survival patterns, assuming we're still small and helpless. And since our subconscious believes we're powerless, our conscious self does too. Before you rush to blame your subconscious, remember that it keeps on treating you like a child because the only reference points it has are the memories and limiting beliefs from your childhood. But, like using a map from 1965 to find your way around New York City, navigating through life with outdated beliefs will not get you to a place of happiness and fulfillment. In addition, these old limiting beliefs usually aren't based on who you are but on how you've been treated by others, which generally says more about them than it does about you. Using a map from 1965 to find your way around New York City. Navigating through life with outdated beliefs will not get you to a place of happiness and fulfillment. The solution to empowerment isn't to take our power back, because we can't give it away. The solution is to make accessing and harnessing our innate power our default way of being. For this, we need to update our belief system so that our subconscious no longer merely reacts in self-defense. To get out of survival mode and become empowered, we need to learn to know, appreciate, and love what is authentically ours. Once we do, we can create a meaning-filled life by choosing freedom over safety, integrity over invisibility, and purpose over comfort. After all, considering the world's precarious state, we can't afford to let anxiety, insecurity, and powerlessness get the best of us. A rare astronomical occurrence is happening next week featuring Mars, Venus, Uranus, Mercury and Jupiter. Called the Parade of Planets, we take a look at the event and what the spiritual meaning of the 5 planets aligning is. Though it's not exactly once in a lifetime, it'll still be something star lovers won't want to miss. As over half the planets come together, there must be a spiritual significance to the 5-planet alignment in 2023. See what the parade means for you. On March 28th, next Tuesday, the 5 planets will align and all will be visible. Though some will be more difficult than others, only the weather will stop you from seeing the parade of planets. Mars, Venus, Uranus, Mercury and Jupiter are coming together. Mars, Uranus, Mercury and Jupiter will be within a 50-degree sector within the sky with Venus appearing a little higher. Visibility will begin just after sunset, with Mercury and Jupiter shining brighter and near the horizon. Though seeing 1 or 2 planets isn't uncommon, like the Jupiter-Venus conjunction last month, a large planetary alignment happens less often. Viewers will probably require some binoculars to see Uranus, the furthest of the 5-planet alignment from the Sun. However, the other should be visible with the naked eye, especially Mars and Venus. The last time the Parade of Planets was on show was only last year, however, it was 2016 before then. There are a number of apps available to track the planet's location in relation to you to give you the best chance of spotting them. On March 28th, next Tuesday, the 5 planets will align and all will be visible. Though some will be more difficult than others, only the weather will stop you from seeing the parade of planets. Mars, Uranus, Mercury and Jupiter will be within a 50-degree sector within the sky with Venus appearing a little higher. Visibility will begin just after sunset, with Mercury and Jupiter shining brighter and near the horizon. Though seeing 1 or 2 planets isn't uncommon, like the Jupiter-Venus conjunction last month, a large planetary alignment happens less often. Viewers will probably require some binoculars to see Uranus, the furthest of the 5-planet alignment from the Sun. However, the other should be visible with the naked eye, especially Mars and Venus. The last time the Parade of Planets was on show was only last year, however, it was 2016 before then. There are a number of apps available to track the planet's location in relation to you to give you the best chance of spotting them. Spiritual meaning of 5-planet alignment in 2023. Not only is the planets aligning a visual spectacle, but it also has a spiritual meaning for those who are interested. Though the links between planetary alignment and their symbolic meanings are still new, it's definitely a developing area of research. Each planet has its own meaning and energy, so when they come together these offer disrupt one another. However, as the planets get closer the gravitational pull means their energies are stronger. Mars, action, desire and survival instincts. Venus, desire, balance and harmony. Jupiter, optimism, success, and generosity. Mercury, transcendence, communication and intelligence. Uranus, progression, enlightenment and independence. Looking at what links the 5 planets is the opportunity and chance for success. Combining Mars, Jupiter and Uranus sees a clear message for things working out in your favor. If you take action and think optimistically about desires in your life, then now is the time that it will work out. As Venus and Mercury are together, it could also be a time for you to make a change or take a chance in an aspect of your life. As long as you consider your options and what will work out best for you, the 5-planet alignment is the time for you to embrace your desires and seek harmony in your life. If you feel imbalanced or out of touch with yourself and others, the parade of planets is the time to realign. Embrace independence at this time. Though communication can be with others, it's also internal. Be truthful with your intentions and desires with yourself and your loved ones. By all means, look to the skies to take in the spectacular view as the 5 planets align. However, look to yourself to ensure you're seizing opportunities that create equilibrium in your life. In my last post I mentioned we'd see what the equinox brought, and it definitely delivered. We experienced a substantial shift on 3/22, and importantly, this was a physical shift. It was palpable in our solar power center, the 3rd chakra, and physical blocks to abundant health and forward progress were removed. This is exciting news for all of us who have worked on our physical health or restore vitality and energy through emotional clearing of old patterns and residue, and cleaning and upgrading our diet to remove as much of the unnecessary additives as possible. We may have wondered why this wasn't working as well as we hoped, but there were energetic physical impediments within our systems and these have now been cleared. This process continues to be a co-creation between us and Source. Between us and the divinity we are reconnecting with, as we bring this into alignment with who we are. With each passing day we connect with more of our innate divinity. We are each a part of Source. This growing inner divinity creates the inspiration that we then share with others. This is fueled by the high-frequency photonic and plasma light we are absorbing from the massive off-the-charts light waves washing in over the planet. Anyone sleeping a lot lately? Rest when needed. This is high-intensity work. We will now be able to see and experience more physical change within us, with greater ease. We want to continue to eat high-vibrational, light-filled food. And when we do this we want to give up our old ideas related to nutrition. We want to give up the blocks we have consciously held within our mind as to what is good for us. Much of this was misinformation. We will now be able to experience the healing and restorative power of fruits and vegetables and herbs to a greater degree, as we have moved even more into alignment with the new earth and the new consciousness. This is an incredibly powerful time for all, and especially for those who are consciously aware of what is taking place. Our new vessels are now vibrating with the new energy as we acclimate to it, as it becomes who we are and how we navigate. This is an incredibly powerful time for all, and especially for those who are consciously aware of what is taking place. We will hear more reports of brain fog and pain and physical ailments from those still operating in the old systems and relying solely on 3D advice and input. Each person will come to their own awareness when ready. Each must witness the old systems not working for them or with them. We are going to see much progress with this now. I'm noticing many more people opening to this. This week, I had another nail in a tire on my car due to all the construction taking place in this area. I drove to the tire shop and was on my way to do errands in less than a half hour. What I noticed this time was how neutral I was able to remain, being the observer and the one creating the quick repair. This time, I didn't move into a worried or what-if state. I simply focused on what needed to be done. We will be noticing how much better we are getting at all of this. We're seeing our ability. We're connecting with our power. As you move into alignment with your true self, your new self, you are creating in the present moment, moving with the flow of energy, and discovering you are creating what you need. Thus you don't have to have a plan to get it. Instead, you are using the clarity of your intention. Notice the practice you are being given in order for you to become adept at this. We are creating now something absolutely miraculous, each of us, by moving into our sovereignty and divinity, and by taking responsibility for what we are creating. We are seeing something remarkable and incredible take shape in these intensely powerful energies, and that is our Creator Self. We are moving into alignment with this self so that it is simply who we are. In 1637 Descartes wrote, "I think, therefore I am." It was the one statement he could not doubt, that showed who he was. It moved us into being cerebral and hanging out in our thoughts. As we now move into the heart-centered consciousness, we realize at a deep level that we are creators, and we know this. This is very empowering. It's not simply that we exist to create our experience, and to have the experience we have long felt deep within our being, our heaven on earth. We are not separate from love. This is what we are here to do, each of us, and now is when we can do it. This is huge progress in an immense process, and it opens the door to all that awaits. We are in this living, breathing magic now, and this is where we will truly shine all the light we have taken in. We are aware of the many instances where humankind was on a more direct path of ascension and where exactly you got sidetracked on those journeys of your collective. Once individuals gain a certain amount of knowledge and develop their skills and abilities, they then have the option of sharing what it is that they have come to master. They can share it and teach others how to do it, or they can see themselves as having more power over others as a result of their mastery over energy and vibration, and they can keep it for themselves. And when they do this, they also seek to keep that knowledge, that wisdom, away from their fellow humans. People love to feel special. And one of the ways that people have been able to feel special is when they hone their abilities, when they attain spiritual gifts. And so, if they were to then share what was shared with them with everyone else, they would not feel as special and they would not have as much power. And this is what has happened throughout human history there on Earth, but now the times are changing. Information cannot be held back from the masses anymore. You all have the option of learning about the various tools and spiritual practices that will bring you into greater alignment with Source and give you that mastery over energy that you all want. You have so many teachers on your world today who seek to empower their fellow humans, and this is a very good sign. Those who want to hold on tight to their power and to that knowledge, that information, they are having a very hard time right now, because they can see how futile their efforts are. You all are accessing exactly what you need to and when you need to, and it is a very exciting time to be a human being there on planet Earth. If you truly want to ascend, to be your higher selves, to be fifth-dimensional, then you will share when you can, and you will teach anyone who is ready to be taught. You will seek the advancement, the evolution, of each and every one of your fellow humans. There is power in numbers, and your numbers are multiplying every single day. The more of you that have the power, that have the abilities, the closer you get to the fifth dimension. So don't just wait for your fellow humans to catch up to where you are and where you have been for quite some time. Guide them. Give them the tools that they need, and invite them to exist in the higher frequency state that you have been so fortunate to have found. Throughout human history, There have been many instances where individuals have attained a certain amount of knowledge and developed skills and abilities that have allowed them to access higher states of consciousness and spiritual mastery. However, instead of sharing these gifts and teachings with others, many have sought to keep them for themselves, using their power over energy and vibration to exert control over their fellow humans. This has led to a system of elitism and secrecy, where spiritual knowledge is only passed down to a select few and kept hidden from the masses. Those who hold this knowledge see themselves as special and powerful, and they fear losing that sense of superiority if they were to share what they have learned with everyone else. But times are changing. The old ways of hoarding knowledge and keeping it hidden from the masses are no longer sustainable. As the collective consciousness of humanity continues to shift towards higher levels of awareness, more and more people are awakening to their true nature and seeking to reclaim their power. One of the most significant changes taking place is the democratization of spiritual knowledge. In the past, it was only accessible to those who were deemed worthy by the spiritual elite. But now, anyone who is willing to put in the time and effort can learn about various spiritual tools and practices that will help them connect with their higher selves and achieve a state of alignment with Source. There are now countless teachers and guides who are sharing their wisdom and empowering others to tap into their innate spiritual gifts. These individuals are breaking down the barriers of elitism and exclusivity and creating a more inclusive and equitable spiritual community. The shift towards greater inclusivity is not only good for individual spiritual growth, but it is also essential for the collective evolution of humanity. As more people awaken to their true nature and access higher states of consciousness, the overall vibration of the planet is raised, bringing us closer to a state of collective ascension. It is important to note that sharing spiritual knowledge and empowering others is not about seeking power over them or trying to be better than anyone else. It is about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and working together to create a more harmonious and enlightened world. As we continue on this journey of spiritual awakening and growth, let us remember to share what we have learned with others, to be open to new perspectives and teachings, and to work towards the common goal of creating a more enlightened and compassionate world. As you continue to share your knowledge and empower those around you, you will also find that you are constantly learning and growing. The universe is vast, and there is always more to discover and explore. Each person has their own unique path to follow, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach to spiritual growth and ascension. It is important to approach your own spiritual journey with openness and a willingness to learn. There will be times when you encounter new ideas and perspectives that challenge your current beliefs, but it is through this discomfort that true growth and expansion can occur. One of the keys to spiritual growth is to find a balance between seeking knowledge and taking action. It is not enough to simply read books and attend workshops. You must also integrate what you learn into your daily life. This can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to meditate or connect with your inner self. Another important aspect of spiritual growth is to cultivate a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the present moment. It is easy to get caught up in the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment and forget to appreciate the beauty and joy of life in the here and now. As you continue on your journey of spiritual growth and ascension, remember that it is a process, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. But as long as you stay true to your path and continue to seek knowledge and growth, you will ultimately reach a place of greater understanding and connection with the universe. So embrace your creative power, share your knowledge with others, and continue to explore the field of magic and mystery that surrounds us all. The universe is waiting for you to discover all that it has to offer, and the journey is well worth the effort. As you continue to embrace your true nature and expand your consciousness, you may encounter some resistance from others who are not yet ready to awaken. It is important to remember that everyone is on their own unique journey and they will awaken when the time is right for them. Your role is to simply shine your light and be a beacon of love and positivity, inspiring others to take their own steps towards spiritual growth. One of the most powerful tools for awakening is meditation. This ancient practice has been used for thousands of years to quiet the mind and connect with higher states of consciousness. Through meditation, you can access the field of magic and mystery and tap into your own creative power. It is in this space that you can receive insights and guidance from your higher self, and begin to unlock your true potential. Another important aspect of spiritual growth is self-awareness. Taking the time to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and actions can help you identify patterns and beliefs that may be holding you back. By becoming more aware of these patterns, you can begin to release them and create new, positive habits that align with your true nature. One of the most transformative practices for self-awareness is shadow work. This involves exploring the parts of yourself that you may have repressed or denied, such as fears, traumas, and limiting beliefs. By facing these aspects of yourself with compassion and curiosity, you can begin to integrate them and heal on a deeper level. As you continue on your spiritual journey, it is important to remember that you are never alone. There are countless beings of light and love supporting you from the higher realms, including your angels, guides, and ancestors. You can call upon these beings for guidance and assistance, and trust that they are always with you, offering their unconditional love and support. In addition to these practices, it is also important to take care of your physical body. Eating a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, and getting enough rest are all crucial for maintaining a high vibration and connecting with your true nature. Remember, you are a multi-dimensional being, and your physical body is just one aspect of your being. By taking care of your body, you are also supporting your spiritual growth and evolution. In conclusion, embracing your true nature and tapping into your creative power is a lifelong journey that requires dedication, courage, and an open heart. By cultivating self-awareness, practicing meditation and shadow work, connecting with your guides and ancestors, and taking care of your physical body, you can unlock your true potential and become the highest version of yourself. Remember, the field of magic and mystery is always available to you, and you have the power to create the life of your dreams. As humans continue to evolve and ascend, it is important to remember the power of sharing knowledge and spiritual practices with others. In the past, some individuals have held on to their knowledge and wisdom, seeking to keep it for themselves as a way to feel special and maintain power over others. However, this is no longer the path of ascension. As more and more individuals awaken to their true nature and recognize the interconnectedness of all things, the idea of sharing and collaboration becomes increasingly important. When we share our spiritual practices and knowledge with others, we not only help them to grow and evolve, but we also strengthen our own understanding and connection to Source. The path of ascension is not a solitary one, but rather one that is meant to be walked in community. As we support and uplift each other, we create a ripple effect of positive change that can spread far beyond our immediate circle. This is why it is crucial to seek out teachers and guides who are committed to empowering others and creating a supportive network of like-minded individuals. In addition to seeking out spiritual teachers, it is also important to explore various spiritual practices and find the ones that resonate with us on a deep level. This may include practices such as meditation, yoga, energy healing, or connecting with nature. By experimenting with different practices and finding what works best for us, we can develop our own unique spiritual toolbox that we can use to navigate the challenges and joys of life. Furthermore, as we continue to evolve and ascend, it is important to recognize that there is no endpoint or destination. Rather, the journey of spiritual growth and expansion is an ongoing process that requires us to remain open and curious, always seeking to deepen our understanding and connection to Source. This means being willing to let go of old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve us, and being open to new insights and revelations that can guide us on our path. As we deepen our connection to Source and expand our understanding of the universe, we also become more aware of our own power to create and manifest our reality. This is where the magic and mystery of life truly begins to unfold. When we recognize that we are co-creators of our reality, we can begin to harness the power of our thoughts, emotions, and intentions to manifest our deepest desires and dreams. In essence, the field of magic and mystery is simply the recognition of our own creative power as divine beings. When we tap into this power and align ourselves with the highest good, we become unstoppable forces for positive change in the world. So let us embrace our creative power, share our knowledge and wisdom with others, and continue on this beautiful journey of spiritual evolution and ascension. JJK. Which comes first, a full stomach or the meditation? What is more important? Archangel Jophiel, you are blessed, and with you all people are blessed who draw the blessings of God upon themselves. Feed the people first. Food for the body comes first, only then is there enough energy to nourish the soul. The reverse path is reserved for only a few adepts. For the vast majority of people who are acting out the will of karma, are in the midst of life and have to fight for daily survival, the path to spirituality leads via the gut. Those who suffered from hunger suffer unimaginably great agony and are unable to do anything other than think of food with every fiber of their being. With such a person, everything revolves around bare survival. This person feels disrespect and insult when reference is made to prayer or meditation to escape from the predicament. In fact, it is a disregard and an insult. Because anyone who argues like this has not understood the hardship behind such a struggle for survival. JJK, that means people and organizations working at this level are very important. Archangel Jophiel. This shows that people are there for people and that the poor and needy experience concrete help, valuable attention and human attention. JJK, what you did for one of my least brothers, you did for me. MT 25 to 40. Just do it. Archangel Jophiel, it's about becoming receptive to the suffering and misery of your fellow human beings and, if possible, making a contribution to alleviating it. It doesn't matter that some people do this for opportunistic reasons, and it shouldn't matter to you whether organizations develop a lucrative business model out of it. It is important that you are willing to look at this injustice and try to alleviate it with your means and possibilities. JJK, now, of course, there are also people who pretend to be in need. Especially in our latitudes. This can be observed again and again with the immense influx of new settlers. Archangel Jophiel, that is a fact. Where there is real need, there are always people who pretend to be in need in order to benefit from the assistance in this way. This should not prevent you from doing good either. Whoever wants to cheat you ends up cheating themselves. Whether it is mental or physical poverty, what is at stake is having a healthy, compassionate and humane attitude towards the suffering that awaits you. Inner distance and compassion. JJK, how to avoid being dragged down by the suffering of the world itself. Because suffering with sympathy is probably not a solution, but sympathizing is. but how can you keep this inner distance and still remain full of love? Archangel Jophiel, for those who have no existential worries and needs, meditation is the key. Awareness work in meditation, then you always stay oriented and you remove the weeds before they can spread. Do you know your place, your orders? Have you found your meaning in life? That's all that matters, everything else happens by itself. Avoid esoteric advice. JJK, it seems important to me not to give wise esoteric advice out of false spiritual superiority, such as, pray and everything will be fine. Think positively, open the field for abundance and everything will fall into place. Or, what does your situation tell you when someone is at the bottom and doesn't know how they're going to survive tomorrow? Then this advice really is nothing but slaps. Archangel Jophiel, it takes wisdom and spiritual maturity to be able to correctly classify the destiny of the individual, to feel how it is in someone else's shoes. The hours on the meditation carpet are not decisive for this, the mental maturity of the person is decisive. JJK, it's probably best to help in a concrete way instead of spouting wisdom. Archangel Jophiel, don't worry about what others think of you, don't worry about whether your help will always reach the right person or whether it will be misused. You cannot look into every human heart or recognize all intentions at once. Just be aware that there are very many people who need help in one way or another. Whether someone is starving mentally or physically, the symptoms are similar. While the body is dying, the soul is going through a very painful experience. The soul also has to be healed after an incarnation in great deficiency. So go and give a portion of what you have to those who have nothing of the kind. Don't expect anything and don't adorn yourselves with deeds, because humanity and compassion don't need any witnesses next to God. Thank you so much for watching our videos, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the like button. We appreciate your support and enthusiasm for the planetary ascension. It means a lot to us that you are interested in this important and transformative topic. We are constantly working to bring you new and exciting content related to the planetary ascension, and we are thrilled to have you along for the journey. As we continue to explore this fascinating subject, we will share our insights and discoveries with you. We believe that by coming together and sharing our knowledge, we can help to usher in a new era of consciousness and understanding on our planet. Thank you again for being a part of this community, and we look forward to sharing more with you soon.